Okay, so a couple of months ago, I ended up getting a 30-day ban on Facebook because I said, she thinks trans people are evil. All they did was see the part of the sentence that said, trans people are evil, without looking at the bit that says she thinks, because I was commenting on what another person believed, because somebody wasn't clear on it. 30-day ban, though. And so, makes me wonder, are there alternatives to Facebook? And yes, there are. There's sites like minds.com, for an example, which basically have no censorship. It's a social media site without that kind of censorship. Alternatives to Reddit, and there's an incredibly racist echo chamber called vote.co, VOAT.co. And like I just said, it's filled with a bunch of right-wing, redneck, absolute racist filth where first things you see in the popular trending newsfeed is N-word this, N-word that, blah, 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 blah. So I don't really go there. I think I'd prefer the sort of ban-happy mods on Reddit to a place like vote.co. But it is there if that kind of thing is up your alley. As for alternatives to YouTube, there are plenty. I've actually looked more into that than I have social media. Mostly because I don't really like the direction that YouTube has gone. They tailor to a specific kind of content on YouTube, a specific type of vlogs and that kind of thing. And you know, they're not very friendly towards animators anymore, or towards people that are just kind of putting up videos of themselves goofing off or something like that. You know, basically things that were great about 2007 YouTube that have kind of gone away now that it's 2020 YouTube, right? Where it's like a PG-13, everything must be streamlined, otherwise we're not going to make it to where your videos are easy to find, you know, that kind of thing. So, there are alternatives. One of them is Vlare.tv, VLARE.tv. Right now it's down for some reason, but it is kind of like 2007 YouTube again, where people just upload random videos of 30-second animations and themselves goofing off, and a couple of re-uploads from YouTube. There's also vidly.tv. That's what Vlare redirected me to when I tried checking it this morning. And I think I'm probably going to like it even better than Vlare, because the entire format of the thing looks like 2007 YouTube. With a 5-star rating system, the subscribe button on the top right, your profile, you know, your channel profile is looking about the same, right down to the comments being on the bottom of the... Yeah, I think I'm going to probably enjoy that site, because again, it's like 2007 YouTube. You know, one of the more popular videos that's trending right now is some minute-long video of someone's pet gecko. That's the kind of content that made 2007 YouTube. And that's gone from 2020 YouTube. Right? And there's also D.tube. Now, this site, at first, it was kind of iffy because you had to kind of seed your own videos or something. But after you seed your videos, you decide to delete it to save hard drive space, or you don't seed it long enough or something like that, the video just kind of goes away and you can't watch it anymore. Now that was like a couple of years ago. Nowadays they have alternatives, so you can upload it to different streaming sites, or you could just upload something to YouTube and then have it play back on D.tube, which honestly, that kind of defeats the point. I had a bit of hope in that site, but it's not really all that good. But the most popular alternative to YouTube is still, of course, dailymotion.com. Right? Dailymotion, it's almost as big as YouTube in some ways, regarding how many videos and stuff are often uploaded. A lot of people just kind of re-upload their content from YouTube onto it, but there are also people that upload exclusives to Dailymotion. And, so YouTube is most certainly not a monopoly. So people that complain that Alex Jones was kicked off for his stupid conspiracy bullcrap, and then they say, since it's a monopoly, government has to come in and force YouTube to put Alex Jones back on there. Government should do no such thing, because we're not a fascist country yet. But there are, like I said, there are alternatives to YouTube that you can watch, and that have probably a little bit of censorship. Like, I doubt you could put nudity on there or say a bunch of racist crap and get away with it. But it doesn't seem to be as oriented towards the more streamlined PG-13 type of content that's kind of plaguing YouTube now. And if you want more alternatives to social media, you know, you can simply Google or Bing or Yandex any, you know, like social media for this particular type of group or something, and you can find it. There are social media sites out there for atheists, social media sites out there for Christians, for Muslims. I'm sure you could find some social media sites out there dedicated to gamers if you just looked for them. Just because they're not popular doesn't mean they're not there, and just because Facebook and YouTube are the most popular doesn't mean that they're monopolies. Right? And of course, there are still those old style forums that are out there, right? There's all sorts of forum sites that are still out there dedicated to various different topics of like everything. You could probably find a forum site for literal lawn grass or for dogs or something. Right? So there's all sorts of alternatives you could go to if you don't like the way that social media and YouTube are going in 2020, or at least the more popular social media, should I say. So stop saying that YouTube and Facebook are monopolies, because they are most certainly, clearly not. They're just the most popular.
Peace.